Good morning, students. This is the third video of the chapter Nationalism in Europe. And in this particular video, we'll try to understand that how the map of Europe changed completely after 1815 and why the year 1815 was considered the remarkable year in the world history. So let us discuss the topic. Napoleon got defeated in the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, and after that the whole map of Europe changed because Napoleon captured the different parts of Europe. Different monarchs got defeated under the Napoleon rule, and now it was the term of Napoleon. So when Napoleon got defeated in the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, all the kings from whom Napoleon snatched the kingdom, they became very happy, and they met in the Vienna, the capital of Austria. And in that meeting, they signed a treaty. All the different countries like England, Russia, Austria, Prussia signed the Treaty of Vienna, undergoing the changes made by Napoleon. So whatever changes were made by Napoleon, it was undone in this treaty. Now, what was the remarkable feature? What was in the treaty? What was the remarkable about this treaty? First of all, we should know that this treaty was signed by all the countries who got hurt by Napoleon. Because now Napoleon was not there, all of them became very happy and they wanted to establish a new type of Europe, and that is why they redrawn the map of Europe, in which it was decided to get control over the different parts of Europe. So how this was done? So let us discuss. So what was the special features of the Treaty of Vienna? We need to understand first of all Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich, who was the king of Austria, because in his kingdom only the meeting was organized. He hosted the meeting. He was the host. And after that, some changes were brought. First of all, Bourbon dynasty was restored in France because Napoleon was the ruler of France. So after his period, next king of Bourbon dynasty came to his throne. That was Louis XVIII. Now it was decided that France should not extend its empire further. That is why the border of the France was covered from all the sides. In order to prevent its further expansion in future, Netherlands with Belgium in north, Genoa and Piedmont in south. I mean to say different parts of different countries were established near the border of France, so that France could not expand itself in the future. Austria was given control of the northern Italy. Now Italy, which was under the control of Napoleon, and Napoleon was not there, so it got divided among different countries, like particularly Austria. So Austria was given the control of the northern Italy. Now Italy, the north part of Italy was now under the control of Austria. Similarly, Russia was given some part of the Poland. Prussia was given control over the different western frontiers. Now one thing that was untouched, it was the 39 states of Germany. It was left untouched. We need to understand this. The different Germany was consisted of different small territory, and when Napoleon came to power, he converted it into 39 pieces or 39 confederation. So it was decided in the meeting that these German states would not be touched, and after that conservative order was created in Europe. Finally, we need to understand the successor of old monarchs came into existence. They re-established their empire in the European countries. So we need to understand this was the greatest achievement of the monarchs, because now it was the time when monarchy came back. We need to understand again, when the French Revolution was going on, the monarchs were there all over the Europe, including the France. And through the revolution, the monarchy came to an end. Thereafter, the Napoleon came to power. He established dictatorship. He removed democracy. And finally, after he got defeated, again, monarchy got established in Europe. So this was a very challenging task for all the citizens of Europe of that time, those who are living in different parts of Europe, because again, they were going to face the monarchs. So it was really very challenging. It was a very difficult task of that time. Now we need to understand, as we discussed that conservatism came to power or the monarchs came to power, what were the changes brought by the conservatism or the conservatives? First of all, the autocratic regime or the monarchy regime came to power. They came back and they were not ready to tolerate any type of criticism. They were not ready to accept any opposition. That is why they established or they imposed censorship all over the country in their respective areas. They told that we are not going to accept any criticism, we are not going to accept any opposition, and all the activities will be performed under their supervision. That is why they curbed all the printing presses. They put censorship laws in order to put restriction on the press or media of that time, in order to gain control over all these things. So this is how the conservatism came to power. So the period of 1815 to 1830 was termed as the period of conservatism. We need to understand this timeline very clearly, that in 1815 Napoleon got defeated, and after his defeat in 1815 only the Treaty of Vienna was signed, or Vienna Congress was organized, and after 1815 till 1830 it was a period of conservatives, or it was a period of conservatism in which monarchy were dominant, or monarchs were very dominant. They were establishing their power, they were controlling the entire European countries. So we need to understand that conservatives came back and they started ruling the country. So this is all about in this video. Thank you so much.